Okay, so now we're really starting. Yeah. First of all, I am Gloudina Loots is really a very special person in our lives. She is the reason why we have this conference. She's also the person who initially believed in the fact that South Africa needed a preclinical drug development platform as a national platform. And she funded that she's the director, the National Director of Health Innovation for South Africa. So Gloudina has been a really important person in our lives, but also a friend. And she's a friend to science, despite all the policies and yeah. So I really want to thank her, first of all, very much for making the time to be here. Secondly, for her support throughout the years. So Gloudina was also responsible for the funding that allowed us to become a member of the IMPC as an institutional member. So really, thank you, Gloudina. Then I also just want to thank Erika Kwe. I think she's disappeared again, but I'll thank her later then. Okay, Gloudina, thank you very much.
Well, she will make me blush. Another important person that's also here is Moriege Selamatsela. She's my deputy director. So if it was not for her capabilities, I would have not been so successful. Thank you, Moriege. Welcome to South Africa for those of you who are not South Africans. Enjoy the beautiful view that we've got here. You are in the Cape. That is one of the most beautiful places in the world, so in my opinion. I'm biased, yes. But welcome, and I'm looking forward to that we can look at specifically how we can foster further collaborations. I've already picked a number of people and said, yes, we need to talk about this, we need to talk about that. Because one of the things that the Department of Science and Innovation do is specifically to look at how to enable the system to assist the researchers and how to enable the things that we need to put in place, whether it's international relations. As I mentioned on Friday, I was in a 4-hour meeting with our German counterparts, and things like Helmholtz, Max Planck, all of that came up, and it is a case of how can we, I must go back to them and say, okay, these are the specific areas. Similarly, we've got one with France, we've got all these science agreements then that enable the exchange of information, exchange of students, exchange whatever you need, and then there's then funding available as well. So one of the things that science and innovation would that we strive to do is to create this enabling environment to develop drugs, vaccines, and diagnostics and medical devices. But in your case, we concentrate on the drugs and vaccines. And so we fund the basic discovery, drug discovery, as well as vaccine development. Then so we've actually did this sort of pipeline that we needed, and then we looked at what are the components that we need. And one of the major gaps in South Africa was actually the animal testing facility. We had a little bit of ability on the macaque monkeys, but we then need to look how can we ensure that we can actually have the relevant mouse models in place and so on. So then we created at the Potchefstroom University the preclinical testing facility. I've given them a challenge that we go beyond toxicology. I need actually a facility that can start doing challenge studies for us, that we can expand on what is going on there. After the animal testing, then we've got an extensive clinical trial network in South Africa. We utilize the universities and then the public sector hospitals that is associated with that. So we've got a very broad section of patients that we've got access to. Once drug or vaccine look promising, we actually do then also on the upscaling of how do you take a drug from small milliliters to actually sort of 6 liters of drug substance. So we do that, but we also do on the vaccine side, but we also do it on the drug side. So what we've created is actually also initially with the University of Potchefstroom, upscaling laboratory where they literally from your university lab size go up to 200 liters of API for your active pharmaceuticals. So we've put that into place as well, and then we work then with industry to actually do the full-scale manufacturing. So we do it for drugs and we do it for vaccines. But centered to this is the animal testing models that we need to put in place to make sure. But there's a new challenge to all of us, precision medicine, genomic medicine. What are the relevant animal models that we can use for that? One of the things that we find, because of the genetic diversity in South Africa, your standard of care is not always relevant. One of the, and a lot of people know about your paracetamols, that for some people they might as well eat sweets. Sweets taste better. There are these certain things that we need to start looking. The challenge that we've given our scientists is, let's look at the essential drug list. Which ones are actually relevant? So we need to start looking at your pharmacogenomic studies that is needed for that. And then when we also look at the development of new drugs and so on, is it relevant for the population of Africa? And it's not. You sit with 4 distinct groups in Africa where the genetic is quite diverse. So you cannot say, but something worked in West Africa, therefore it will work in South Africa. No, don't even go down that road. It doesn't work like that. So how do we make animal models then, develop animal models that is actually relevant? And how do you do animal models for your gene therapies? And that's it. And then we've also got the challenge of everybody has now climbed on the bandwagon of organoids. But organoids is, yes, it might have a future, but we're not there yet. It's not commercially available for all diseases and so on. So these are the kind of things that we need to put into place so that when you've done the animal studies, you can say, yes, it is relevant for your population. Just to give you an idea, we did 28 per person whole genome sequencing. Within that was more than 16 million unique variations. What are we going to do now? How does that translate back to the medicine that we are giving people? So that is my challenge to you. I'm quite open to share ideas, see what we need to do to enable that. And thank you for being here. Thank you.